Sir Roland limped through the gates of his ancestral keep, his armor caked with dried blood and desert sand. The servants who rushed to greet him recoiled at the sight. He couldn't blame them. He'd been gone for 3 years on crusade, and the man who returned was not the same one who had left. "My lord," his steward Geoffrey stammered, We had word you were dead." Roland's laugh was hollow, devoid of mirth. "I should be," he said, his voice raspy from disuse. "Take me to my chambers. I need rest." As Roland shed his armor, winching at each movement, Geoffrey gasped. The knight's body was a canvas of scars, some still angry and red. But it was the strange, swirling marks on his left arm that drew the steward's eye. "Sir, those markings are none of your concern," Roland snapped. "Leave me." That night, Roland's screams echoed through the keep. Servants huddled in their quarters, crossing themselves and murmuring prayers. In his chamber, Roland thrashed on his bed, lost in memories of blood and sand and unholy, the statue of the forgotten god, its jade eyes seeming to follow them. And then, the curse. Roland woke with a start, his body drenched in sweat. In the pale moonlight, he could see the markings on his arm writhing, as if alive. He stumbled to the window, gasping for air. In the courtyard below, a figure stood motionless, staring up at him. Roland squinted, trying to make out details in the darkness. The figure raised an arm, pointing at him. With a jolt of horror, Roland recognized the ornate robes of the desert priest who had cursed him. But that was impossible. The priest was dead. Roland had killed him himself. Over the next few days, strange occurrences plagued the keep. Livestock were found dead, their bodies twisted unnaturally. Crops withered in the fields. And always, Roland felt eyes on him. He saw the priest everywhere, in the shadows of the great hall, at the edge of the forest during a hunt, standing at the foot of his bed in the dead of night. Each time the villagers, they're saying things about you. Roland's eyes narrowed. "What things?" Geoffrey swallowed hard. "They say you've brought a curse upon us, that you're changed. If only they knew." Every night, the markings spread a little further across his body. Every night, the dreams grew more vivid, filling his mind with visions of sand and blood and ancient, terrible gods. "Lies," Roland snarled. "Punish anyone who spreads such rumors." But he knew, deep down, that it wasn't a lie. The curse was real. It was growing stronger, and he didn't know how to stop it. That night, as Roland tossed in his bed, he heard chanting, low and rhythmic, in a language he didn't understand, but recognized from his dreams. He rose, drawn almost against his will, to the window. The courtyard was filled with figures in desert robes, all chanting, all pointing up at his window. At their center stood the priest, his jade eyes glowing in the darkness. "No," Roland whispered. "No, this isn't real." But even as Roland fell to his knees, his body convulsing as the curse reached its culmination, in the courtyard, the chanting reached a fever pitch. Roland screamed as his body began to change, twisting and reshaping itself. In his last moments of humanity, he understood the true nature of the curse. He wasn't bringing doom to his lands. He was becoming it. The thing that had once been Sir Roland burst out of the keep, a monstrous fusion of man and ancient horror. As screams filled the night air, it began its rampage, the curse of the forgotten god finally unleashed upon the world. In the shadows, the jade-eyed priest smiled. His god would feast well tonight.